Hey, okay, so people started to ask me about management, about operational things on Twitter more and more often, right? It can be two things because, like, their channels, for example, AI channels, they are working and they are ready to start new ones, they are ready to scale, but they don't know. And also, the second thing is that due to AI, right, its progression, YouTube and Google, they're not really ready for it, right? They cannot sometimes distinguish real spam, like real AI, and kind of just like altered AI, if it makes sense. So in this video, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek how to manage channels at scale, how to run more than 100 channels, and what to do with your operation setup, right? The main thing, the main YouTube goal is to maximize revenue, right? Maximize company revenue while having like a few problems as possible, right? So YouTube is a big company. They don't want like real lawsuits because otherwise, if their goal was only maximizing revenue while having like different problems and like promoting black hat channels, promoting movies, right? Because okay, RPM is good, let's just allow everybody do whatever they want. No, right? In this case, they would experience a lot of problems, so they want to maximize their revenue, having just like fewer problems as possible, right? And that is understandable. At the same time, our goal as YouTube entrepreneurs is to maximize our revenue, right? So we don't really care about YouTube as a company because we don't have an equity. We don't have like this long-term goal how YouTube will develop itself, and like we don't have like shares. So we care about our businesses, right? At this point, our business is YouTube channels and how to maximize their revenue. So we can do like extreme clickbait, right? Some weird marketing stuff, some tricks. So in order to maximize our revenue, right? Because as I mentioned, it's understandable. So the main thing nowadays is that, as I mentioned, AI channels, right? At the same time, YouTube doesn't like automational companies, right? And the reason is that I mentioned, okay, it's not like a blogger type videos, right? When somebody has one channel, records videos like challenges, vlogs, no, right? We here to automate processes, right? We're here to have teams, automational setup, and upload videos without ourselves, right? That's the most important. We can create like the healthiest content because it's time, right? Like I cannot record myself every day and have like vlogs because it will be like one channel. It would be not outsourceable. So it's not like a proper business. And main goal for us, for faceless guys, is stay unlinked, right? So YouTube cannot connect all the things together, all the channels we have, all the niches we have, and some different things I'm gonna explain later. So you don't need YouTube connect every channel in your network, right? So you need to minimize the channels YouTube can't possibly connect, right? And YouTube doesn't need to know you have an automational setup. At the end of the video, I'm gonna explain you like a Hydra Hat's immortality strategy, right? For some channels, it will be very useful. And yeah, the main goal for today's video is to get the idea that never have something one, right? This video is more for people that want to scale, right? Because some information in this video can be really scary to beginners. Like if you're just a beginner, run your few channels and everything will be all right, right? If you want to run tens of channels, you definitely need something from that setup, if not everything. So what includes in that diversification? Like a few questions: where you upload, like what you upload, how you upload, how you get revenue, right, from your channels, and who you upload with, and etc. So the simplest mistake, right? We're gonna start with the simplest rule you need to avoid is like having a few channels, right? Multiple channels on one Gmail. No, because in the majority of cases, when YouTube terminates one channel on Gmail, it wipes out all the channels on that Gmail, right? It's like probability is not 100% because sometimes, yeah, okay, other channels, they are safe. But in the majority, I would say like in 90% of cases, YouTube will terminate who, every channel that is like Gmail is an owner of all the channels, right? Not like managers, because we're gonna talk about it later. Like all the channels that Gmail owns, right? If it makes sense. Only one reason you need to keep a few channels on Gmail is translated channels, and badly translated, right? Like if you change like a few things, you don't want to fall into spam section if you just spread out between like multiple Gmails, because in that case YouTube cannot connect you, so they just don't understand why you're translating somebody else's content. So only in this case. And but still, right, if you set multiple channels on different Gmails, there is a possibility YouTube will connect all of them by AdSense, for example. And in this case, of course, you need to, if you're running like tens of channels, 100 channels plus, you need to have multiple Gmails, multiple AdSense accounts. It's a must, right? And even multiple CMSs. Because with CMS, it can be a few problems, right? Like YouTube can turn a CMS off from recommendations, from basically pushing your video to non-subscribers. So I've been experiencing like things like this many times. So you just upload videos, your video is not being suggested to non-subscribers. You don't have traffic from browse features nor suggested feed, nothing, right? YouTube just shadow banned that CMS, and it can happen if all your channels in one CMS. You need to remove all of them, right, from that CMS. So you will lose time and money. And also like CMS, they can like not pay out, for example, like Indian ones, they usually do it. So I always don't recommend to work with Indian CMSs. Unfortunately, it happens. And with AdSense accounts, yeah, more riskier channels, less of them on an AdSense. So it depends on the risk factor, right? If you have like very risky channels, so keep a few of them only on one AdSense. In cases like one channel gets terminated, it will hurt like only a few channels. And if you run more safe channels, so you can keep more of them on an AdSense. And yeah, the same with verification. I'm talking exactly about advanced features. So you don't need like one person and exactly you. For example, I don't recommend like a creator. Like, firstly, since you are starting out, it's okay, right? You can verify and turn advanced features on like yourself, right? But in different cases, it should be different people, right? Like just for example, like your friends, your family members, your managers, your even like video editors, right? Just ask for a verification and do it, right? Because otherwise, if for example many channels are verified by one person, and one channel gets terminated or something like different things can happen, all the channels, they can potentially lose advanced features, right? Or they can be even terminated because of the link. If like it depends like how risky and what's like the reason of the first channel termination. And the same with two-factor authentication methods. So you don't need like only one phone number. You verify all the channels on. So you need like different things, and that's a very simple step. And next thing, like many people are interested exactly in this step, types of channels, right? What types of channels to use and how to play with them, right? Because the main rule of this video is to never have something one, right? Because H channels, they can stop working, they can like YouTube can just flag all of them at the same time. Because remember, like mainly AI AI channels, they are on H profiles, right? Like in this space, the majority of AI channels, they are from H profiles, or they are age channels. So YouTube can spot that pattern someday. It depends on really how many of them, because imagine like every time, and I'm talking about thousands, like tens of thousands, because this information is on every like YouTube chat, or like every YouTube guru talks about it, right? Exactly in AI space, just like buy age profiles and upload on them. So it can be harmful, and more cases like that, the pattern for like YouTube AI, it increases, right? The more channels exactly like AI age channels get terminated, the more YouTube will see, okay, like, you know, it's like AI, it works like on weights, right? So weight becomes bigger and bigger. So let's discuss what types of channels we use, right? The first one, the simplest one, that suitable for beginners, you just create Google account and you create a channel. That's simple, right? But the reason is it's not good for scaling. That if you create so many Google accounts, so many Gmails on one IP on one computer, YouTube will see it's like a spam, right? Because kind of you allow to have like only one Google account, only personal like Google account, and that's like the best situation. But of course, we cannot do that, right? We cannot only work with one Gmail. So you need to outsource that, like to your even like friend, right? You can create like a channel, like a Gmail from your mom's laptop, right? From you can ask your managers, you can ask your editors to create channels and kind of store the channels on their laptop, or you can, of course, like to do it more safely, you can transfer the channels. You can have like login and password, and you can log in afterwards. So when you see, okay, the channel is ranking, you can just take all logs back. Yeah, so the next thing is, of course, age profiles, right? Like age channels, let's say. I'm talking mainly about age profiles and similar websites. Um, yeah, all good. You just need to test them, because not every channel from age profile is good, and that's the main point of this, is that they are transferred differently, right? The sources where they obtain the channels, they are different, so they are not all good. And the third type is organically aged. These are channels, for example, they are closer to monetization. They are not monetized. They are with like a few hundred subscribers, and this is like very good. You can also buy them from age profiles, because you can buy like channels with 1 million views, right, with a few hundred subscribers. But usually like every day they are sold out, and sometimes they are like too expensive, and you can just buy from people for a cheaper price. And it's like the same situation with organically monetized. It's good they are already in YouTube partner program, right? But people, they put like bad AdSenses to them, right? So AdSense, like with many terminated channels, with many demonetized channels, and they already coming with them. So it depends on the channel and depends on the person, right? So just be careful with them and try to select really good ones. Try to see there is no botted activity, right? Like that's the most important, because people are selling organically monetized channels, but they are not organically monetized, right? And why I hate them is because of Asian pre-monetized, right? There are channels from Indian people or Pakistani people, they farm them, right? And they don't really care about your performance, about your traffic. Their goal is to have like channel monetized and sell to you or to like a middleman. So, you know, and in these cases, you need to keep in mind that they bought everything, right? They bought subscribers, they bought like watch time. So, and they buy it in a way that like they buy it like during like one day, so it's not safe, right? Like exponential, like it's like this whole like big spike during one day, and then like back to zero basically. So it's not okay. It's good only in cases when you want to test something, right? When you're running out of channels and you need to test like news, right? You need to test format, you need to test black hat, and even like it's good for RPM testing. So I really like advise, if you don't know how to work with them, I advise to avoid these type of channels, because the probability of success, it exists, right? Like it's possible to succeed with these channels, but the probability is very low, right? It's even lower than with age profiles, because YouTube nowadays in 2025, YouTube doesn't like that. YouTube doesn't like these channels at all. And also, of course, they farm them on one AdSense, and these channels, they get terminated, demonetized. Everything happens on one AdSense, and they just resell. You can change AdSense, but still, it's not okay. You know, like audience from Pakistan, Vietnam sometimes. So yeah, just like good only for like particular cases, and I assume it's not your case. And then we're coming to CMS channels, right? I just split them into two categories, and I didn't include MCN channels, because MCN channel, it can be like anything, right? You just link the channel and they get your revenue. You have like a few features like geoblock, but still, it's not like a type of channel, right? Because you can connect any. In these cases, the first one is owned and operated. Is like a type of channel CMS creates for you, right? Exactly. And they are owners of the channel, right? You can have like a login password as long as it's in a CMS. You can get rid of CMS, and they will just issue through brand ownership on your like Gmail, that channel. But it's not what you want, right? They just create a channel, and you have like manager access through brand or through basically studio. It depends on the CMS, and you just have a contract with them, so you make money and you get your basically revenue. And like it's possible, not on in every CMS, it's possible to get out of the CMS, but still, right? Potentially it can be your channel, but as long as it's in CMS, it's their channel. Benefits, yeah, of course, there are many of them, and I can publicly talk about a few, of course. But the first one is that they have already advanced features enabled, right? Since like the creation date or like a few hours afterwards, advanced features, everything is verified, right? All three of them, intermediate and advanced, everything is verified, so you need to bother doing that. Secondly, they have already their AdSense connected to the channel, so you don't need your AdSense. They already care about it. And yeah, about trust score as well. So sometimes like you do need to use them. And of course, like, and the one more thing is that you can get invited into CMS, so it can like manage channel. But usually, like they're the same thing. So both of them, and you can get like a channel. You can buy a channel, or you can create a channel, and you just apply for a CMS. And they invite you, right? The difference between MCN and CMS, for example, how you can see that. MCN has a feature to remove access. CMS doesn't. So you cannot remove access on your end. You need to ask for that, right? You need to contact them so they can get rid of the channel and like and issue an owner for you. So yeah, in these cases, they are also interesting. It depends on the reasons how to use them, but both cases they are like overpowered if you know how to use them. The next channel is music artist channels. It's a channel with a music tick. So it's like it acts kind of like a channel verification mark, right? That you can get usually after like 100K subscribers, like stars or like known people. They can get it like since creation date. But tick in this case, it's acting like a channel verification. So YouTube trusts the channel more, right? If you know how to get them, if you know how to use them, this is also like better trust score channels, exactly with music tick. And the last type of channel is like a big rented channel. So I'm not going to talk about Black Hat, which is like the main thing for these channels. But for example, if you run news if you really like run risky channels, and you can rent a bigger one because bigger channels, they don't have invalid traffic issue. It's not possible to get invalid traffic on them because YouTube trusts them more, right? Once the channel, that's why also the reason they get verification mark, they trust the channels more. So they usually like the probability of termination is becoming smaller and smaller. And yeah, if you don't want to spend money, you can rent a big channel and give the channel's owner some revenue share. That's all. That's what we do, right? And never rely on something one, right? Never rely, as I mentioned, on age channels, on organically age, because like these ones, they are hard to get on scale, right? These ones, like if you rely only on Asian pre-monetized, your business is it can be gone. And yeah, let's discuss the next step, which is niches, formats, and languages. Um, Nowadays, yeah, it's cool that like so many people are successfully running AI channels, but you cannot be sure about the future of them, right? If you rely on them so heavily, if you want to only like farm AI channels and only in like one picture or like a few pictures, it's not a good idea, right? If you just you can make first money, but then you need to diversify because it happened many times. For example, even on YouTube, right? I'm not even talking about other businesses. It happened many times. For example, in 2019, when so many people, so many companies, they were running kids channels like rhymes, like nursery rhymes, like toys and packaging, like vlogs. And then in December 2019, YouTube rolled out COPPA rule, and YouTube started to mark these videos as like made for kids. And the majority, right, it's like so many companies, they lost a lot of money due to relying only on kids niches, right? Only to having these channels. So their revenue went from like multiple six figures per month or even seven figures to months to like five figures, right? Or sometimes even to zero. They like RPM dropped so much. So during like 2024, I know some teams, they were doing only news, right? And YouTube started to crack down on news. YouTube started to terminate channels because of misinformation, because of spam. So it's not a good. And if you even like set up everything well, right, with like different verifications, with different types of channels, Gmail, AdSense, no, it can be like termination because of a niche, right? It happened in celebrities also. So it can potentially happen with AI channels. So you don't need to rely on them too heavily, right? And the main rule of this video is to not have all eggs in one basket. I'm just gonna explain what eggs you need to diversify, if it makes sense. And yeah, the next step is access to channels and their storage. You can get ban and basically like a massive termination because of your IP address, right, of your computer, because YouTube can link all the channels together because of it's you, right? Even if you use like different Chrome profiles, different browsers, no, it can happen. So in this case, you need to understand how to storage them well, right? How to get an access to them. So what we use is like mainly like three things, right? Apart from CMS, because in that case they are the owners, right? So they have their AdSense, they have all the logs. So even if I am manager, it's fine. For normal channels, for not CMS channels, what you can use and what you need to use, right, if you want to scale. First one is like the simplest to set up is different computers, right? So you ask your friend, you ask your family member, even you ask your managers to create channels, to have logs, right? Of course, it's not just if it's like a manager, you shouldn't trust. You should have like NDNA agreement so you can be sure everything is correct. If you want to have an access on your end, you need to use anti-detect browser like multi-login. There are a few more, right? But I like multi-login more. But there is also incognito and Dolphin. So you use it's like anti-detect browser. It's like a simple browser, like think of Chrome, but every profile in that browser acts like a different computer, right? So it mimics, it's like it fakes, it changes user agent, it changes fingerprints. So YouTube and Google, they don't have an access, they don't see your computer as the same computer in every tab, right? If it makes sense. So you can create like 10 tabs in that browser, and all of them will be like different computer just with your IP. And to change IP, you just use proxies. And so basically, like every profile is like a different computer in a different country, right? If you use different proxies. The more safe way is to use VPS, because yeah, as long as anti-detect browsers, they are safe, right? They can mimic. Google anti-fraud system is very good, right? And it progresses. So with VPS, it literally like a different computer in a different country, and you get an access through a web page or TeamViewer or like software that is accessible to Mac or Windows. And yeah, and in these cases, of course, you in these both you use residential IPs, right? So they are much better. And this one, like the stupidest mistake people make is that they have all this set up, but they issue like an access to one phone, right? No, like don't do it, because still like you can connect all the channels by one phone. Cool. Let's move forward, and I think the last step in diversification on in my list is human resources, and in this case I would like to talk only about partners. So you can run like tens of channels, more than 100 channels yourself, but to get fresh ideas, to get fresher workflow, right? To get basically beyond your understanding, you need to partner up, right? That's a very strong thing for me, for example. I do like partnerships, and I do like when, first of all, there is no overlaps or clones myself, right? So you can be strong in one thing, but you can be kind of not the best in the other things. So you need partner exactly that complements you, right? So imagine like you do let's say thumbnails very well, and your partner does scripts very well. You don't need your clone, right? You don't need like good thumbnails from you and from him, but nobody's gonna care about scripts. No, it should be complementary. Okay, cool. So and the second thing is that roles, they must be 100% clear, and you need to understand how you're gonna end partnership, right? Because it's cool. It's like it can be so exciting to start partnership, but at the end, still, right? Every partnership, um, it's it can end, right? So everything comes to an end, if it makes sense. So you need to be ready for it, and you don't need partners that have nothing to lose, because if, for example, if a person is not investing right time, money, or different resources, he can partner up with like 10 different people, right, or like tens of different people, and he has nothing to lose, right? He's not gonna pay attention, he's not gonna put the work in and stuff like that. And yeah, the next thing is that prepare to losing a partner, and you need to have a strategy what you're gonna do without your partner, with your channels and stuff like that. Cool. So yeah, and one more thing I'm gonna talk about is tools, right? So you don't need to rely only on one setup, because, for example, Element Labs, they can terminate your account the same as Claude, right? If you violate their script writing rules, Gemini can unroll an update that's gonna change the strategy of the scripts. That's gonna change basically the framework, and you're gonna lose in this case. So yeah, or like Minimax can delete your voiceover, and it's not cool. So you need to have like multiple tools, exactly, for example, AI tools you can rely on, right? And the same with next step, for example, So many people relied on Zapier uploads, right? API uploads through Zapier, and it stopped working. So now it's not working, and that's something you don't need to rely on even like warm up phase, because I don't like when people have like warm up patterns, right? If you warm up more channels, YouTube can figure out like the pattern, like exactly you are warming them up. So everything should be different, right? Like sometimes it's like a guy from Japan is watching anime, and like a girl from Brazil is watching like dance. So no patterns in this case. And yeah, just one quickly to go through one step is termination through managers. It's very rare, but it happens, right? That YouTube can terminate all the channels due to one manager link or even like video editor link. It's so rare, but still, right? Just don't give all the channels you have to one manager. No. And yeah, as I mentioned, I'm gonna talk about like disaster recovery protocol. Is like a very good idea for some channels. So how you can basically build immortality, right? And like Hydra heads, when like one channel gets terminated, others arise. So for every upload, right, for all the videos you have, you store raw files, just like videos. You store metadata like description, titles, and even text if you want. Optionally, also you can storage comments and watch time, like AVD and RPM metrics. Because when the channel is terminated, right, you're gonna lose everything. And to not lose everything, you just like have multiple channels that are ready to take over, right? One channel gets terminated, traffic goes to your next channels. And yeah, you can uniqueize content, right? You can adjust, like alter audio and add overlays, right? You can change metadata, titles, text, thumbnails, of course, and everything of this, of course, needs to be done on different channels, as we discussed earlier. So if you have basically any questions about this setup, or you want to add something, you want to get something else, you can write in the comments under this video or on Twitter. I'm gonna have a link in the description. Bye bye.